In tonight's headlines, the government of Belize signs an MOU with Microsoft. Public officers and police officers celebrated this week, and representatives from the Caribbean meet in Belize to discuss climate change. These stories and more on this week's edition of Belize Now. Thanks for joining us on this Friday, June 23rd, 2017. I'm Charlie Hutchinson. Thursday, June 22nd, marks an important step in the government's digital transformation journey. Prime Minister Right Honorable Dean Barrow and the General Manager for Microsoft Services Latin America, Mr. Angelo Chirico, signed a Memorandum of Understanding to meet the government's national digital transformation goals. Janelle Rodriguez tells us more about this historic event.
The world is making great strides in digital revolution, and Belize will not be left behind. A Memorandum of Understanding has been signed between Belize and global technology giant Microsoft LLC to drive a digital program of change. This is an effort to achieve a more cohesive, collaborative government and ultimately for national development. In his remarks, Mr. Angelo Chirico, General Manager of Microsoft Service for Latin America, spoke about the importance of the digital transformation for Belize.
From a public sector perspective, digital transformation is changing the way we work and live. But 60% of people still remain excluded from the benefit of the digital economy. That is why Microsoft is committed to partner with government leaders around the world in addressing their most pressing challenges by harnessing the power of digital technology to empower citizens, businesses, and organizations to achieve more.
This digital transformation is one huge step for the government of Belize to move Belize forward, as it is a part of a plan to combat inefficiency and corruption using digital technology. The Prime Minister, Right Honorable Dean Barrow, spoke more on how the government's digital agenda will reduce corruption in his remarks.
This important step will allow government and the public to interact digitally with a greater degree of confidence in the information presented and exchanged, thereby avoiding many of the problems associated with the paper-based systems.
The Prime Minister gave examples of changes that will allow the public to interact with the government in a more efficient manner through digital transformation.
As a prime example, a major effort is underway, led by the Social Security Board, to link the databases of all agencies that govern the official identification of Belizeans. Very soon, a single linked citizen registry will be developed that will ensure integrity and cross-verification of citizen information stored in vital statistics, immigration, elections and boundaries, and of course, social security. BTL, which is itself a Microsoft distributor, is expected to align with Microsoft to develop customized solutions for business clients in cloud PBX and desktop cloud services. BTL will also assist with the expansion of government's nationwide fiber network, as with the development of new electronic channels, including kiosks and mobile for access to technology-based services for all Belizeans.
According to the Prime Minister, changes will be visible before the end of the year.
By the end of this year, we will be launching the so-called BEL system, which will completely digitize the application process for all trade-related permits, and which will form a platform for digitization of a number of other permit applications. All this will eventually, and we believe sooner rather than later, remove the need for Belizean citizens and businesses to interact in person with GOB's service providers. This should lead to time conservation, cost reductions, and service delivery speed-ups.
Chief Technology Officer Michael Singh spoke to us about the benefits of the agreement between Belize and Microsoft Services.
We're deepening the relationship so that we get economies of scale, we get a lot more tools and support, and we get them to help to map the roadmap towards digital government, which is what we want ultimately. And they're bringing us a lot of expertise, support, resources, and a couple little freebies along the way, so that we can go down that road and get to where we need to be.
Why does government need to make this change for development?
Government needs to modernize. We can't remain back in the dark ages. So our program really is to bring government to the level of where there is a seamless interaction between citizen and government and among government departments.
The digital transformation, as explained by Mike Singh, will reduce corruption in government operations.
If we transfer transactions to computers and to digital equipment and to servers, the server is incorruptible because it doesn't have to pay a mortgage, it doesn't have to eat, it doesn't have to sleep. And if we remove that front-end contact with people that are corruptible, I think what we have then is a government where people can rely on, and they can rely on transactions, and costs can go down. So an accountable government is what I think we'll end up with.
As Prime Minister Dean Barras said, this is a big deal. For Belize Now, I am Janelle Rodriguez.
In addition to addressing issues of corruption and inefficiency, the digital transformation will reach and make more accessible services to the diaspora. This week, the government celebrated public officers throughout the length and breadth of Belize under the theme, "With confidence achieving excellence, with pride executing responsibilities, with perseverance beyond the call of duty." The week-long celebration included an ecumenical service, a public service walk, a variety show, and social night. Public officers were also able to access free services such as diabetes and HIV testing, chirotherapy, blood pressure checks, and enjoy massages and pedicures at a reduced rate. Of course, public officers also gathered at the Belmopan Comprehensive School for their annual Public Service Information Day, where they showcased their work to members of the public. Our Belize Now team visited the Public Service Information Day, where public officers shared their feelings of pride.
I just recently joined the energy unit this year, so I don't have a long time in the public service, but as a young officer, I know it's a privilege to work for the government and to provide these services to our country who needs it.
I had just graduated from technical in June, and in October or November, I think it is, I got the job to work with the Department of Transport. At that time, it was licensing authority, and since then, I am still with the department. Just as the word says, public service or public officer, we are here to serve. We are here to assist the public as much as we can, even if we have to go out of the way sometimes to assist the person.
I've been working as a hospital administrator for the past 16 years, and it's the reason for living. This is why we are here. We serve people, and we get pleasure in serving people.
It's my duty to serve my Belizeans, and I take great privilege and honor in doing that on a daily basis.
The festivities concluded today with an awards ceremony to honor public officers celebrating 25 years of long service. The government of Belize is the largest employer, providing jobs to over 9,000 public officers. After the break, more stories. Stay with us.
Did you know mothers can benefit from breastfeeding? Breastfeeding burns extra calories and help you lose pregnancy weight faster. It relieves your hormonal oxytocin, which helps your uterus return to its pre-pregnancy size and may reduce uterine bleeding after birth. Breastfeeding also lowers your risk of breast and ovarian cancer. It may lower your risk of brittle bones. By breastfeeding, it saves you time and money, since you don't have to buy formulas warm bottles, and it gives you gentle time to bond with your newborn.
This message was brought to you by NCFC and Special Envoy for Women and Children.
If anyone present should know of any just cause why these persons should not be joined in holy matrimony, let him now declare it.
Nobody nothing know, say me and you a touch. Nobody nothing know, say you a give it up. Nobody nothing know, say you come over me yard. Baby, you know me love you bad. Nobody nothing know, say me and you a touch. Nobody nothing know, say you a give it up.
Are you positive you are negative? Get tested. Know your status. Free testing is available at Ministry of Health clinics and BFLA centers nationwide.
This week was also observed as Police Week. All over the country, the members of the Belize Police Department were involved in various activities to commemorate the week. Those activities included cleanup campaigns and community outreach. On Thursday, over 280 police officers were recognized for their achievements over the years. Family and friends of the honored officers gathered among the other distinguished guests at the Police Training Academy to celebrate the occasion. Long service and good conduct medals were issued to 162 officers from all ranks who have completed 18 years of continuous service in the department. First class medals were awarded to 62 members who have completed 25 years. 39 members were awarded second class medals for completing 30 years. 37 members were recipients of the Meritorious Service Medal for their exceptional devotion to duty, and 18 officers of and above the rank of Senior Superintendent received the Distinguished Service Medal for their especially distinguished service to the department.
To the recipients, I take this opportunity to congratulate you on your long years of commitment, dedication, and loyalty to the Belize Police Department and to the citizens and visitors of Belize. This award ceremony is not only a time to celebrate, but it is importantly a time for showcasing and showing experience among peers in quest for excellence. It serves also as an opportunity to educate the media and the public at large on the values, virtues, and worth of the police department.
Police Week, as I indicated in my address, as far as I'm concerned, is a very important week because it's the opportunity to recognize the good work of all the police officers and the police department, as well as to recognize the sacrifice they, along with their family, makes, and to also recognize those officers who have died through the years whilst a police officer. It also gives us the opportunity to interact with the community more regularly, as well as showcase some of the work that the police department does.
I am so proud and much appreciated that my hard work have paid off because I have marched up to receive my medal, and I have 20 years of service in the department. I had get the opportunity to meet the community on a whole. I have also got the opportunity to be an instructor with the Police Cadet Youth Corps for 7 years. I have also got the experience to form the Neighborhood Watch program within different communities, and also to implement the First Offenders program.
I must say that it is indeed an honor to know that after 25 years of hard work, your service and dedication to country is recognized in the way that it was today. And I only look forward to continue working diligently in the Belize Police Department until that day comes that I either resign or reach retirement age.
After the awards were distributed, the ceremony was closed with a toast to the medaled officers led by the Honorable Elodio Aragon, Minister of State in the Ministry of Home Affairs. We also asked the Commissioner of Police and one of the Assistant Commissioners of Police what is in store for the department in terms of improvement. Here's what they had to say.
We're doing a number in service training. We don't have any recruits in training, but we're doing a number in service training for all the different ranks within the department. We're doing things like human dignity, customer service, constitutional rights, and some of those issues, because, as I say, we're a service-oriented organization, and whilst we have complaints, we don't tolerate wrongdoing, and we try to deal with those things fairly, as well as ensure that the rights of all police officers are also protected.
I will be moving over from the officer commanding Eastern Division South, and I should be assuming the command of Professional Standard Branch. Professional Standard Branch is responsible for discipline within the Belize Police Department. As the commander of that branch, I believe it is my responsibility to ensure that the level of professionalism within the police department improves. I will also be looking at the training of adjudicators, because we need to ensure that when we appoint people as adjudicators within the department, that they are well qualified and capable to do the job that they are tasked to do. We will also be looking at training in relation to those persons who we call as presenters. We also need to look at areas of customer care. I believe that we need to run some training to ensure that the level of service that we give to the public is at a stage where it is acceptable. My thing is to improve discipline and improve the standard within the police department.
The National Youth Cadet Service Corps is a branch of the Department of Youth Services, which falls under the auspices of the Ministry of Education, Youth, Sports and Culture. The organization works with at-risk young men between the ages of 13 and 17 and prepares them to be productive members of society. On Thursday, June 22nd, the National Youth Cadet Service Corps held a passing out exercise for Intake 18. Andre Pitts tells us more.
Left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, left.
17 cadets lined up early in the morning, sporting their youth cadet uniforms, basking in the support and praises from their parents and trainers who were in attendance. The ceremony was held at the National Youth Cadet Facility at Mile 21 on the George Price Highway. The 17 cadets were certified for having completed the challenging 10 months of academic, physical, spiritual, and disciplinary training geared towards their holistic development. In his manager's report, Mr. Anthony Castillo discussed the objectives of the Youth Cadet Corps.
Today marks the 18th closing exercise for the National Youth Cadet Service Corps. Today, 17 young men have completed the 10 months training cycle here at this institution. The objective of this program is to assist in developing the person holistically. This includes psychologically, socially, and physically. During the past 10 months, these challengers were involved in a series of skills, academic courses, life skills, along with basic foot drills. The combination of all the above mentioned program is an effort to prepare the young person to move on to bigger and better things in life.
The event's guest speaker, Dr. Hugh Sanchez, who was a mentor for the cadets during the training, delivered solemn words of advice to them.
Today we are thankful that these young men and their parents have made good choices in having them disciplined, trained to be productive citizens. It is important that we recognize that hard work pays. In the world, you will have the choice between the easy way, apparently easy way, and the hard way. But I want to encourage you. The easy way is short-lived. Short-lived meaning prison imprisonment or on the table. Table mean the post-mortem table. Hard work mean challenges. And my young men, they have stepped on the plate and have accepted the challenge.
DeAndre Gifaro, one of the outstanding cadets of Intake 18, discussed his time in the program.
It was full of obstacles, but we still made it, and we learned a lot of stuff that we could use.
What was the most enjoyable part of this experience?
The drill, sir. The drills.
Okay, and what was the most difficult part of this experience?
The discipline aspects, because most of us had temper and issues with us, and they help us.
Do you believe that you're a better young man now that you have been a part of this?
Yes, sir.
At the end of the ceremony, the cadets showcased one of the many skills they had mastered in the program by thrilling the audience with a drill presentation.
Right. Salute. Salute. Salute to the left. Salute.
Several cadets were awarded for their excellence in the different academic subjects they were enrolled in, and they were all acknowledged for their behavioral transformation. Intake 18 was declared a success. For Belize Now, I am Andrew Pitts.
The first structured dialogue for the Green Climate Fund in the Caribbean region was held in Belize from June 19th to the 22nd. The Caribbean Community Climate Change Center had the administrative responsibility for the conference in partnership with the government of Belize. We attended the opening ceremony on Monday.
Most of our countries here today have ratified the Paris Agreement. Many have submitted nationally determined contributions that are conditional on receiving financial, technical, and other support. This meeting here this week is to catch you up on where we are at the Green Climate Fund. And one of the important missions that we want to discuss here at this meeting is country ownership. Country ownership is key to success of projects that are being implemented. Countries must understand that the Green Climate Fund, in terms of country ownership, is not a development bank. It is a fund that has been established to assist parties to the convention to implement international law to meet a global goal.
Our people are facing the daunting reality of eroding shorelines, increasing water tables, changing rainfall patterns, and bleached coral reefs. Yet, in spite of these circumstances and our threatened resources, as leaders, we have been hard-pressed to assure every person under our watch the basic needs for sustainable livelihoods, and we have, by our own means, endeavored to do so. We welcome the GCF's commitment to support the implementation of the Paris Agreement. The GCF also takes into account the needs of societies that are particularly vulnerable to the adverse effects of climate change in developing countries, including the LDCs, small island developing states, and African states. As such, this structured dialogue presents us with an opportunity to accelerate our engagement with and to increase our understanding on the modalities and procedures of the fund.
The key objective here is to really strengthen the countries in the Caribbean to allow us to better focus and better target the finance that's available through the Green Climate Fund. The ministers this afternoon will actually have a dialogue where we will set the stage for the discussion in the next 2 or 3 days. We will actually define our national and regional priorities, and then the technical folks take over and really engage that discussion with the Green Climate Fund on the process of actually targeting the finance, the different protocols, the different procedures that needs to be in place.
The Green Climate Fund was established by 194 countries party to the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change in 2010. It is designed as an operating entity of the convention's financial mechanism and is headquartered in the Republic of Korea. It is governed by a 24-member board and receives guidance from the Conference of the Parties to the convention. While we had a chance to speak to the Honorable Figueroa, we asked the Minister about Belize's plans in reference to addressing the effects of climate change in Belize.
We have our priorities straight. Agriculture is an important priority, a main issue that it will be affected by climate change. Our main emissions come from land use, land cover changes, so that has to be one of our priorities, how we tackle that. Reforestation has to be a priority, having more efficient agricultural practices so that for a given area we increase our efficiency and then we eliminate the need to continue deforesting. We can actually be more productive on existing agricultural lands and there's no need to continue clearing land.
After the break, our segment In Case You Missed It. Don't go anywhere.
Talking to you about letting your baby set the pace. For the first few weeks, most newborns breastfeed every 2 to 3 hours round the clock. Watch for early signs of hunger such as stirring, restlessness, sucking motions, and lip movement. Let your baby nurse from the first breast thoroughly until your breast feels soft, typically about 15 to 20 minutes. Keep in mind, however, that there is no set time. Then try burping the baby. After that, offer the second breast. If your baby is still hungry, he or she will latch on. If not, simply start the next breastfeeding session with the second breast. If your baby consistently nurses on only one breast at a feeding during the first few weeks, pump the other breast to relieve pressure and protect your milk supply.
This message was brought to you by NCFC and Special Envoy for Women and Children.
The Philip Goulton Highway between Belize City and the Philip Goulton International Airport is getting a major facelift to the tune of $31.5 million. Section A of the highway upgrading project between Hallover Bridge and PGIA is nearing completion at an investment of $13.6 million. Works include construction of retaining walls to prevent erosion, widening of the road cross-section to include paved road shoulders, pavement restoration and resurfacing. The project also includes installation of LED road lighting and safety features such as signs, reflectors, road marking, and improved visibility through the clearing of the road reserve. The government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
Belize Electricity Limited, BEL, held its annual general meeting, AGM, on Wednesday, June 21st to report on the company's performance and achievements for the year 2016. The company announced that over $38.9 million was invested to improve its service. BEL connected a total of 3,764 new customers in 2016, and through the revitalized system expansion program, 52 new communities were connected to the national grid. Over 1,000 low-income households gained access to safe power supply at a subsidized cost under the company's Connecting Homes, Improving Lives program. At the AGM, the company reiterated its pledge to shareholders to continue to pursue initiatives that will increase access to safe, reliable, and affordable electricity and improve the quality of its services. Minister of Transport, Honorable Edmond Castro, headed a team from his ministry which met with a Singapore delegation of the Singapore Ministries of Transport and Infrastructure. The purpose of the visit is to strengthen transport cooperation with Belize and explore cooperation initiatives that could be executed under the recently signed Air Services Agreement, also known as Open Skies Agreement. One of the specific areas being explored for cooperation, which was discussed during the meeting, is training in maritime affairs, which fall under the command of Belize's Port Authority. And that's it for this edition of Belize Now. If you want to provide feedback or send in your comments, please feel free to email us at info@pressoffice.gov.bz or visit our Facebook page and let us know what you think. We look forward to hearing from you. Have a great week. Until next time.